Hi everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb, and welcome to the ARTyRV channel. Welcome everyone. If you're watching tonight live, we welcome you, and if you're watching on the rerun, we welcome you as well.
Yeah, Barb. So this is we want to let you know that ARTyRV channel is a virtual stained glass teaching facility for you guys, and we want to let you know that if you have any questions. We do this show every Monday night live at 7 p.m. And if you have any questions, if you'll just put them in the queue over there or in the chat with a Q in front of it, we will try and answer all your questions. Now, everybody, if it's something that we missed, usually Ray will let us know and he will send it, make sure that we get it and get it answered. So everybody, Ray's in the house tonight. Let's give him a big thumbs up. Ray, thank you for everything you do, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray. We also have a glass cutting demonstration coming up tonight, and Miss Mary might even make an appearance.
I think she might, Barb.
Yeah.
Look, she is making an appearance.
There she is. There she is, right
She's
there.
in her favorite spot. She loves to watch TV from this.
I just wanted to remind everyone that June 3rd is Viewer Showcase. So get your, that's 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks,
yeah. Okay, so that's two more
Monday
Mondays.
week, yeah.
Yeah, so get your
Get
entries in.
Yeah, get your entries
Become
in.
famous worldwide.
Yeah.
And
remember, send it to viewershowcase
at gmail.com.
I got it.
You got it right.
I got
Thank
it
you,
right.
Lila. We appreciate that.
Oh, wow. Thank
That
you.
is awesome.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate every super sticker and super chat. That was Lila's first super on a live stream. Thank you.
We appreciate that so much.
Congratulations.
Well, it all goes to a good cause.
Yes, it does. It does. So I guess we can jump in with a question.
We can, Barb. Let's see. Grab us the first one coming out of the hole there.
The first one was, let's see. Okay, I think it's Kevin. I see some talk, but I think I see a cue. Kevin wants to know any special tips, tricks, or techniques for cutting a bullseye. It's a confetti type glass. He has a number here, but you looked at it and you said you probably didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I probably didn't know, but
it's a confetti. And it doesn't want to break on the score line. It's very frustrating.
Well, it's probably a confetti on clear, and you're right. They are a little bit tricky because we're using some stringers bullseye glass on a white opal for some pants for the castnet guy, and they were a little bit tricky as well. But what I can tell you about those glasses is just because if it's on clear, make sure that you don't press too hard and think that you're going to be scoring the glass with a lot of pressure, because it's not going to work for you. And if this is one of the many glasses that Bullseye makes with the fractures and the stringers in it, then you just need to be patient with it. And again, I think some of it may be that you're just pressing too hard on the glass, and make sure, I probably don't have to tell you this, but make sure that you cut it on the smooth side, even though it's a little bit textured. Don't try to cut it on the side where the stringers and the fractures are, because there's too many voids in there, and you're right, it won't follow anything for you. I hope that helps, but again, I think you just need to just practice with it a little bit and make sure that you don't press too hard. And if you're, some of it might be, check with Bullseye, but I think if you change your cutter head to a wide cutter head, like 145 degrees, you'll find that it could be the cutter head on your Toyo or whatever it is that you use is too, it could be only like 121 degrees. So something a little bit fatter and not as narrow and pointed may help you out as well. So.
Thank you, Ed. That was a good question.
Yeah, because the guys at Bullseye, they got it.
Yeah, if you call Bullseye and see if they can give you some some hints on cutting that. It
Yeah.
is, it's, don't feel bad. It's not an easy glass to cut.
No, and I think
For sure.
some of it could be just the angle of your cutter wheel. Check with Bullseye.
Your other option is to redraw your pattern so that you can
Is
use
cut all the
piece.
glass that doesn't work and then add that and then redraw your pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you want to do all that.
No. Okay. Let's see. Question from Steve. I'm ready for a challenge. I don't know what this means, but can undo 15 by 20 inch mallard piece with just the foil method and a zinc frame.
Sure, yeah, 15 by 20. That's a good size, you know. And and you can do that with a zinc frame, but because it is like almost 16 by 20, I would, even with the zinc frame, I would just put it in a wooden frame so that it looks finished, unless you're putting it in behind a you know, if it's an installation, then of course your moldings will hold it on, but I definitely wouldn't hang it from the zinc frame around the outside for sure.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Let's see, Michelle. Michelle asks, I purchased some stained glass sheets and a lot of bevels from an old stained glass studio that closed. What's the best way to identify the glass and bevels?
Well, the bevels are just, you know, most bevels that you're going to find from old studios are all going to be stock bevels, and you can just look those up on the internet, or look up, you know, Franklin Art Glass, go to their catalog, or Sunshine's catalog. They all stock these bevels, and you'll at least be able to see, you know, what you have, and you know what they're potentially worth if you're going to use them in some windows. And so the glass itself is probably going to be the hardest part, and unless you're very familiar with art glass and the manufacturers, the simplest way to find out what you have is going to be to get a sample kit, and you know, and look at some of the, if they buy it from you know, brick and mortar stores, which is where you got it, usually they're marked though. Usually we used to try to mark all of our glass when
We tried
it
to
was
keep the
retail.
label on everything,
Yeah,
and
we
we would
tried
cut
to.
it. If we had to cut it where the label was, we would at least move the label or
Yeah,
write
or
on
write
it.
on it with a marker or something.
So
Yeah, with a Sharpie.
hopefully it's still labeled.
Yeah.
If it's not, I would take it. I don't know how much of it you have. I would find a good place. I don't know where you have it stored, but if you could get a picture of it, so you could go through the pictures rather than having to, you know, look at it and then look it up. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So
Good luck.
you know, you've got the manufacturer. Yeah. Here's the thing: if you got it for a deal, it doesn't matter who made it.
Right.
Build some pretty stuff out of it. That's what
Yeah,
you should
I would
do.
go through. I wouldn't worry too much about who the manufacturer
Yeah.
is. I would go through and pick the colors that really speak to you,
And
set
make
them
something.
aside, you know, and maybe photograph those so you kind of have an inventory, or maybe not. But, you know, at least figure out what you got, pick out what you really, really like so you can use it in upcoming jobs and that type of thing.
Oh, excuse me. All I had to get a drink there.
Whatever you have is probably, you know, nice stuff.
So we had a great lead workshop this weekend.
We did.
Saturday and Sunday, and everybody had a good time. And so I want to let everybody know a little bit about our class schedule. Some of our classes are full, but I still want you to see the variety that we have. So like our lead light workshop that we just had this weekend is coming up again on June 1st and 2nd. And of course that class is full and has been for a while. So, but if you go to our website at conwayglass.com, you'll be able to see all the classes that are available to you and when they are. So our classes with glass or stained glass go all the way through to September the 20th. And so like our June the 15th is our make and take, where people come in, they don't even have to know how to cut glass. It's already done for them, and we teach them the process from there on. And then, so we have our beginner stained glass workshop, Barb. Mm-hmm. And guess what? This still has space in it. So this is our beginner stained glass workshop, everybody. And it is,
Oh, that's right.
It is July the 20th and 21st. Remember, Our workshops are weekends, Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 3 and 10 to 3. And we do a project, but this is our beginner stained glass workshop, and we have 3 slots available. We only take 5, and because we want to make sure that everyone learns exactly what they need to learn. And this is the class, y'all. If you're having a hard time cutting glass, this is the class to dive into, because this is where I teach you how to cut glass first and foremost. And then we learn how to put these projects together, but we're going to learn how to cut glass in this class. And then we want to make sure that we have another make and take coming up on September the 21st, which is just a Saturday from 10 to 2. And we usually make 1 or 2 projects. The projects are already cut for you, but you learn the rest of the process. This will give you the opportunity to see if you really like doing stained glass without all the process of buying tools and everything, because we supply the whole project for you. That's a lot, Barb.
That's a lot. Also, mark your calendar for October. It's a very exciting month for us. We start blowing glass again, and we'll have our glass blowing classes available. August the 15th, the new schedule comes out. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, go ahead. It arrives by email. Go to our website, conwayglass.com, and you can sign up for the newsletter, and then you'll be notified when the new class comes available.
Right.
October will fill up quick.
Right.
Yeah.
It filled up quick last year. I know that, and it'll fill up again fast this year.
Oh yeah, it'll fill up really quick. Okay, so we have some more questions coming in.
Okay, Barb.
We've got people coming in. Hi, everyone. So good to see you.
Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Judy says, I've made half a moon window with copper foil. I've made a half moon window with copper foil, and I used Restrong for reinforcement. It's a 52 by 24. I want to frame it in lead cane, not wood. Will it be strong enough to put into window?
Into an opening, sure it will. Yeah. So, and there's a place up in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm not sure where you are, but you can order from them. It doesn't matter where you live. And it's called Duraflex. And what they do is they have the molding that just flexes right around your half round, and all you do is nail it and paint it. The stuff is really sweet to work with, comes in 12-foot lengths, and I think you'll be real happy if you, again, the name of the company is Duraflex. They're not a sponsor or anything, just a company that we use when we want our work to look completely finished.
Right, and it helps out when there's a circle or a half round.
Oh
that's
yeah,
for sure.
even the perfect circle, they can get you the molding for.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's good.
And it's reasonable, guys. I think the 12-foot section of the 3/4 round is about $60. So.
Yes. Okay, any other questions? What do you recommend to use as a rod to make a garden plant stakes?
Copper rods work really good. Copper tubing, because you can hammer them and drill them. You can manipulate them. You can add things to them. But the most of all is you can solder to them. So simply by flattening the end, wrapping copper foil around it, you can attach your pieces if you'd like. So copper tubing and solid copper rod that's 1/4 inch in diameter or larger. 1/4 inch diameter is probably as big as you want to go. After that, you get into what are called grounding rods, which are what they drive in the ground to right outside your electrical box in your house. So that gets a little bit expensive. So.
Yes, it does. It gets very expensive.
But the 1/4 inch rod is pretty good. I have a friend that works with that, and it's really makes his work look nice. So.
Steve says his pieces are about 6 months old and has the dreaded white stuff. How do I get rid of it?
Oh, they've been wet, it sounds like, and they've gotten oxidized a little bit. I'm not sure that you can get that stuff off, Steve. Most of the time when glass oxidizes like that, it actually does stain the glass. And so I'm afraid that you can try a dryer sheet and hot water, put it in the microwave and in a bowl. It's a water softener, but I don't think, usually when you get that dreaded white funk on there, usually it's pretty much stained on there, man. I'm sorry.
Dreaded white on the copper foil?
I thought it was on the glass, the dreaded white.
Oh, I thought it was on the copper foil. My pieces is done and about 6 months old. It has the dreaded white stuff. How do I get rid of it? I think it's on the copper foil.
Oh, well, if it's on the copper foil, just steel wool the whole thing and then clean it with baking
He
soda
thought it
and
was
water.
on the glass.
I
Now,
thought
if
it
it's
was on the glass.
There's no,
Yeah, I thought it was on the glass.
but yeah, the copper foil.
If it's on the copper foil, just get your steel wool out, a little bit of elbow grease, steel wool it, clean it again with baking soda and water, and patina it, and you'll be good to go.
This time, before you patina it, make sure it's completely dry before you add the patina. And make sure it's completely dry before you wax it.
Yeah, because the white stuff is actually, if you wax that and it wasn't completely dry, what that is the wax underneath of the water.
Now,
Or the water underneath the wax, I'm sorry.
that oxidation, it can be caused by a lot of things. It can be caused by things in the air.
Right.
It can be caused by your water, the type of water you have. So if it keeps happening, see if it's your water. Try not bottled water, but try bottled water.
Try bottled water.
Or filtered water, maybe. I'm
Because
not
it could
sure.
be a scale.
It could be something in the water.
Yeah,
So if it keeps happening, otherwise make sure it's
Because
dry.
after time, even in your coffee maker, the water that we drink builds up scale,
This
and
is
they
exactly
recommend that
right.
you clean it with vinegar. So go figure that, right? And you can do the same thing with your stained glass window. Vinegar isn't going to hurt your stained glass either. So,
Yeah.
but make
So,
sure
yeah.
that it's dry.
Yes, it's actually oxidation. And it happens to all kinds of metals,
Yeah.
and it's happens to
Solder
solder.
and copper. So it happens to all of the products that we use to enjoy our process. But so we just have to take care of them. That's all.
Try.
But I did. I thought you were talking about the dreaded white stuff on the
It's like
glass,
a-
because it's like, man, that saddens you. It makes you cry.
Yeah, I mean, really, I was about to cry
Oh no, Barb.
because you said there's no hope.
I know.
There's no hope.
Well, there's always hope,
Yeah, there's always
because I
hope.
was looking at my toolbox, and you know what it says? Never give up.
Right. Never, never, ever give up.
Never, ever, ever give up. So.
No.
Yeah, so
So-
this is good. So we got some other things coming up, but we need some more questions, Barb.
Yeah, if you have a question, just put it in the chat with a Q. We have people coming in and out all the time, and we welcome you. And
Yeah, so whether
Thank
you're
you for-
running it, watching it on the rerun,
right, or you're watching it live, we appreciate every view.
yeah.
And if
So
you,
we want to say hi to Alan.
yeah,
It was very
Alan,
nice
hope
to
you had a
meet you
good
this past
flight.
weekend. Enjoyed having you in town, and we had a good time, and class was wonderful. And we want to give a big shout out to Joan, Barb's mom. We want to say hi tonight.
Hi, Mom, and any other family that's viewing. Hello, everyone. Hello to all of you out there. We really appreciate each and every view we get.
Yeah, so we have an exciting week this week, other than besides working in the studio and starting some new projects. We also have our youngest grandson who's graduating from high school this year. So that's going to be a fun little evening.
Right. Yes, it will. Okay, if you have a question. Okay, here's a question.
Okay.
Let's see. Pauline wants to know when Miss Mary's birthday is. We don't know when her birthday is, but we celebrate it in December.
December, yeah, we do. We celebrate her birthday in December because she sure was a gift.
Yeah, she was.
She was a gift, and you can see her right now. She's got her paw hanging over. This is her favorite spot on the couch, y'all.
Yeah, this is where she waits
this
for
is
us
it.
when we go somewhere.
And if you notice, she's very calm tonight because she just ate.
Drug her?
No, she just had her supper, And so she finished a really nice dinner.
Okay. Steve said, do we still RV? I can put you up with South and East if you come teach me lead game. Oh.
We don't this time of year in the summertime. We usually if we go somewhere, we'll usually fly, but just because it's just an awful lot in the heat for me anymore. So
Yeah. Okay. Things
I know
change
that sounds
a little
pretty
bit.
bad,
I know,
doesn't it?
he's
But
pretty
the-
bad.
the heat gets to me
he's
after
really
a
bad.
while.
Okay. You know, people are traveling around, making plans for October already, Ed.
Oh,
Tell us what's
God.
going on in October.
In October, you know what? First off, we need to say hi to our buddy Larry Mary.
Is Larry here tonight?
I don't know if he
see
is
him,
tonight.
but if
but
you're
hey,
here
if
tonight,
hear
Larry,
or on the rerun, nice to thanks for tuning in. But you know, Larry is on the board of the International Balloon Festival Fiesta and down in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So this is going on. Starts on the weekend of October the 5th through the 13th. So I personally have never been there, but would love to go. And so we just want to, and you can go find out exactly what's going on at balloonfiesta.com. Check it out, guys.
yeah.
And our good buddy Larry Mary, our viewer, he's on the board. He's on the board there, so he's part
Larry
of what's
is here
going on.
tonight.
Hey, Larry.
And if you love color, this is where you need to be in October, I'm telling you.
And Alan's here tonight. I am Alan. Nice to see you too, sir.
There's Larry. Hi. Hi, Larry. So put that on your calendar. And then right before that in Kansas City, you've got the SGAA.
Yeah, the Stained Glass Association of America is in Kansas City, Missouri this year, y'all. And that is the weekend of October 2nd
Yep.
through the 6th of October.
Yep.
And that's probably, guessing that's really going to be a good conference for 4 days in Kansas City. So, and that's, you know, the Stained Glass Association of America. That's a great organization to belong to. And in the past, because of what we do and everything, and we do this as public art as well. We have been in the past a member of the Stained Glass Association of America. So.
Yeah.
And they are a really nice and a good organization, and actually have been doing their thing for over 120 years, Barb.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I knew that. Just recently found that out.
Wow.
I think this conference is the 113th conference.
Okay. Well, that
So-
sounds good. So that's in October, and I don't think the snow's in Missouri yet in October.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think they would have scheduled something like that. with
Yeah, that's
snowstorm.
right.
I
You know,
hope not.
there's something about de-icing an airplane just doesn't really sit right with me. So anyway.
Okay, so I am Alan asks, he said he had a great time. And why do you use 50-50 instead of 60-40 when working with lead?
Simply because it doesn't matter which one that I use, but the 50-50 is less expensive. And personally, this 50-50 seems to has more flex to it with the lead. So they don't work against each other. Like we don't have a stiff solder and a flexible product that the window is built out of. So if I'm not mistaken, the 60-40 is much stiffer, and typically is one of the reasons it's used for copper foil. The other reason, of course, is the 60-40 really works well with the patina. But I just use the 50-50 on the on the lead windows, because it is more flexible, and it's also about $6 a roll less expensive. So. But I've been using 50-50 on lead windows forever. I
Right.
can't remember a time that I used anything else.
Right.
You know, I keep the 60-40 in the shop for doing copper foil repairs and jobs, but the 50-50 is what sits on the table with the lead window. So.
Yeah, and we've even made copper foil pieces with 50-50 before.
Right.
But 60-40 is better.
Yeah, the
because
patina doesn't look as good as it can look with 50-50 solder. So.
Yeah. So you
Well, I'm
want to,
glad you had a safe flight home today, Alan.
yeah, yeah. Good weekend. We had a great time. It was a good, nice weather. I mean,
Yeah, the weather was beautiful
The
this
weather
week.
was
It felt
great.
like fall, I think.
it was nice and cool
So,
outside.
Yeah,
So,
it
okay.
was. All
If you
right.
have a question, just put it in the chat with a Q. Don't forget, next 2 weeks from tonight,
Is our viewer showcase.
So
That's
you
right.
have plenty of time to send in your photos, send in a good quality photo and a short description, and get your work seen worldwide.
Yep, that's right, Barb.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we have so many things coming up. It's fall. Everybody's is the time for everyone to get ready to do their shows for the holidays now. So that's always exciting. You know, people getting ready for shows. So
Do you look for sales for stained glass? Have you been to those big fall sales?
I have not been to those sales. It's just too difficult for us to get away. That's the dilemma that we have is being able to just get away and you know what, I would say probably Wismac's probably 7 hours from us, 8 hours, and Kokomo's probably 14 hours from us, and so all of those places are close enough to get to, but it's having the time to go and not having to turn right around, you know, that same day and do a whirlwind, and that's
Yeah. We used to travel and
lot.
pick our glass up all the time, but we're losing our microphone.
hang on, I got it, Barb.
What happened? It slid off.
I got it.
Is it still hooked up? Yep.
It's working. Hold on. I'm gonna have to stand up, Barb.
Come on, Mr. Streeter, fix us up. So what were we talking about here? Your slippers.
I got slippers on tonight.
Oh gosh. Pick up your feet, mister. Okay. I don't know how in the world that happened. Okay, if you have a question,
Is that better?
I think so. If you have a question, just put it in the chat with a Q, and we'll try to answer it. And Ed's headed back. We can only see your legs.
Oh, okay. We don't want to look at those.
Okay. All right.
So, hang on here.
So,
Woo! Welcome back, everybody.
Ed, have you heard about Corning Glass Museum opening up the new theater?
I have not.
Yeah. So it's opening up
glass
June.
theater?
Yeah, glass theater.
Oh,
It's
man.
opening up June the 24th. They'll be hosting lectures and movies and other events. June 2024, not June the 24th. It'll open sometime in June. I don't know the exact date, but
Okay.
you can go to
Well, you know-
cmog.org.
Leave it to Corning to be doing something really cool again. So, you know, we were fortunate enough to see a glass theater at, at the museum in Virginia, in Roanoke.
Yeah.
At the Chrysler Museum. We saw a
we've been
glass
there a couple
theater.
times,
Wow,
yes.
yeah. So if you get an opportunity to see that, I would definitely go do that for sure.
But this summer, Paul Stanker's going to be the first artist to be showcased
Oh, wow.
in the theater. So,
Right. Well,
His
Paul's a
new film.
very interesting guy. I think Barbara took a class with
I did.
Mr. Stankert. And, back in the 90s, wasn't it?
and he's as comfortable in the garden as he is in the glass shop. He was a wonderful teacher. He would read us poetry. We go in the garden and we get inspired by nature. and then we'd go back. And it was just a really remarkable class. I really, really enjoyed his teaching. He's a great teacher.
Yeah,
So-
and just a phenomenal glass worker, y'all.
And he was the first lamp worker that Corning brought in to teach in 1996.
Well, I think he also was one of the first teachers to teach scientific glass in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, wasn't it? Or in New Jersey?
New Jersey.
In New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any questions? Let's see. Tips on soldering outside edges. I have a hard time getting it smooth.
Yeah, well, that everybody does have a hard time getting it smooth. But what I've found over the years is you just have to work. It could be that your iron is a little bit cold and why you're not getting it smooth. The other thing is you have to keep the piece level while you're soldering the outside. Once you get that wire tacked to the outside, now you have to keep everything level. And I'll tell everybody, put at least one garden glove on so that you don't burn your fingers when you're doing that. It's definitely a good way to do it. So, and I think we have a video that shows you how to apply the solder on the outside of
It would be the cardinal one.
the cardinal one,
Or,
yeah.
and the leaf one.
Okay,
Both of those videos have.
So the cardinal and the
outside.
leaf both have the explanation of that.
And usually you put wire around the outside edge, right?
I do, yes.
So that helps bead that up as well.
I use typically I'll use a 20 or even 22 gauge wire. It's not anything big. You don't need it big. What it is a structural contact to keep the window or your sun catcher together. So.
Question, do you use baked on paint for your glass, or do you use the type that doesn't need to be baked?
We use the paint that has to be fired, which means we go up, our paints are between 1250 and 1500 degrees. And, but there are some of our viewers do use those paints that are applied and baked in the oven at about 375 degrees. And I don't know the name of them, but one of our viewers, Magali, she uses that product quite often. And I'm not sure if she's in the house tonight.
She's
but...
not. She had to go to choir recital.
Oh, okay.
So she may pop back in. I don't know.
Yeah, but I forget what the name of that product is. But those of you that use the paints to at 375 or that bake on the paints, let our viewer here know what the name of them is, because we use the Rocher paints and they're all fired at between 1250 and 1500. So.
Oh, Pebbio.
Oh, Pebbio.
Chief
Okay.
Jane. Thank you.
Thanks,
Jane.
Chief.
What's Viewer Showcase email? viewershowcase@gmail.com. Send your photos.
All right,
and
there's
your
one.
description in.
Actually, that's probably more than one. We just had to look.
PaulStanker.com is in the chat for you to go to, and you'll be amazed at his work. It's amazing.
The story of Mr. Stankard is just really something else, because he started out as a pharmaceutical glass blower, which meant he made beakers and test tubes.
Yes,
And that's very, very precise work. And so any of you that do take the time to go to his website, not right now, stay in the chat, but hey, if you do go to Mr. Stankard's website, just look at his work. I mean, it's just phenomenal. It's some of the most beautiful paperweights I've ever seen in the world, and Barbara and I have seen quite a few of them.
He often teaches at Corning, and well, I don't know how much he teaches at Corning now, but he used to teach at Corning, Penland School of Crafts, and also
Wheaton Village.
Wheaton Village, you probably can meet him at Wheaton Village. I'm sure he goes for the glass weekend.
And I'm sure he goes for the paperweight conference every year at Wheaton.
So, he's a resident of New Jersey, and he's quite famous. So
Yeah.
look him up if you haven't heard of him. Okay.
Yeah, and do check out his work, y'all.
Question. I'm a newbie and I've noticed flicks of dark gray black specks in my solder. What am I doing wrong?
Well, your tip on your iron is too hot. Those little flakes in your solder is the trash that's burning off of your tip. So I'm not sure if you use a rheostat or what's called an iron control, but if you don't and you'll get one, that'll stop because you're working too hot with your iron. When you take a damp sponge and just wipe the tip of your iron, it should not get any darker than a really pretty gold. If it's turning purple or black, you're working way too hot, guys. So just remember that. And matter of fact, we talked a lot about that this weekend about soldering because we're soldering lead. And I was explaining to our students that this is the temperature that you need to be at. You don't need to be at 700, 800 degrees to do this solder. And I mean, you really don't need to be that hot for lead, and you surely don't need to be that hot for copper foil. If you're working that hot with copper foil, then the tape's lifting away from the glass, and you're going to have problems later on down the road as you start to finish the project. But so yeah, if you're not using, what you're going to find that's in your solder is the trash coming off your tip because you're working too hot. Get you a rheostat and go from there.
Thank you, Ed.
That's the deal.
Rheostat,
that'll fix
rheostat,
it.
rheostat.
Yeah, rheostat. That's right.
Okay.
That's right, everybody.
Okay. Question about how to spell Paul's name. It's Paul Stankard. Ray has the link in the chat. It's Stankard, Stankard.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I saw that. Are enamel paints affected by UV light? Will they fade over time versus silver stain?
I would say they probably would. The silver stain isn't going to fade at all.
Enamels, you think? But fired on enamels?
No, fired on enamels won't fade either. Yeah, no.
What were you thinking of? The baked on?
Yeah, the baked on. But yeah, the fired on, the Rocher enamels, they're not going to fade if they're fired correctly, and they're not going to come off. Everything has to be done the correct way, or it's not going to work. So keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. Yes. Make sure you're firing it correctly. Fire it to the full.
Well, yeah, fire it to
what they tell you to fire.
Right,
it to.
fire it to the schedule.
It shouldn't fade.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't fade at all.
Okay. If you have a question, just put it in the chat with a Q, and we'll be happy to answer. Have you all been keeping up with Notre Dame and the new windows going in the cathedral? Have you been keeping up with it, Ed?
I haven't been keeping up with it. I have enough to keep up with.
December 8th, mark your calendar, December 8th, if you guys travel and you want to go to the opening of the cathedral.
Oh, really? Okay.
It reopens December 8th. The big fire in 2019, they lost their windows. The new windows won't be in, but they'll have a mock-up of what the new windows are going to look like.
Oh, the prototypes, I guess.
Prototypes, yes.
Wow, that's awesome. And that would be quite the project to be involved with, to be asked to be one of the people to help restore those windows and to paint them and do that would be such an honor. You'd have to do it for free because it'd be such an honor.
Right, and so they're not really restoring those windows. What they're doing is they're building new windows, new designs, more modern. So they're not actually, they weren't actually able to restore a lot of those windows. So I believe they said that the 6 of its chapels are getting new windows that are of modern design.
Well, and we
And,
all
that
watched
should
that
be-
rose window collapse right on television, and fall down to the middle of the sanctuary. It was really sad. So I guess that's one of the new windows.
I'm not sure. I will look that up and see what is being done with that particular window. But anyway, I just want to let you all know December the 8th it reopens. And so if you are traveling, the new modern style stained glass goes in 2026.
Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
a process.
Yeah.
Quite a process.
So I would love to go to Paris. I would love to. But
Yeah. Well, all we gotta do is go.
I would love to go to Paris. So,
Yeah,
let's
we
see,
just have
Vatican
to
News.
go.
Yes, Vatican News. That's where you find it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
If you have a question, put it in the chat with a Q, and we'll be happy to answer.
Got quite a few people in the house tonight, Barb.
We
This
sure
is
do.
awesome.
We sure do.
Yeah.
What
And
else is going
a lot
on
of-
in the world today?
Well, our classes are full, so we can, except for our beginner stained glass class. So, and then we just missed Sun Fun Weekend here in Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
my gosh!
darn it.
I'm sorry I missed that. Not really. We had a great class this weekend.
Olympics, July 24th.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Start
the
July.
Summer Olympics start, y'all.
July 24th.
So get ready.
Yeah. Everybody likes gymnastics and diving so far. So I can't wait to see the Olympics. New for 2024 is breakdancing.
Who'd have thought it?
So that should be fun.
Yeah, who'd have thought that
y'all.
they'd
It's
be
called
breakdancing
breaking.
in the
Breaking.
Olympics?
They'll be breaking at the Olympics.
Who would have thought that?
So that'll be fun.
Breakdancing in the Olympics.
It's coming up.
Yeah, that's really interesting. When you told me that, Barb, I was like,
Well, I saw it. It said breaking, and I'm like, "What is breaking?" And it's breakdancing.
that's
You
pretty
know.
cool.
It came
That's
out. Breakdancing, what happened in
Well,
the
you-
70s? It's taken this long to
but
become a sport now.
you did say, I remember you saying that each host city can name up to 6 brand new Olympic games each time that they host. So
Yeah.
so apparently breaking is what Paris decided to let as one of their new Olympic sports. So
Yep.
leave it to France to be really outside the box for
I know.
sure. Yeah,
A
right.
lot happening in Paris this year. So what a cool place
Yeah, it
to
is.
be.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there still large-scale stained glass projects happening in the U.S.?
I would imagine there probably is. They're building churches all the time, and not only just churches, but they're building cathedrals, and but the big thing is, I would imagine is restoration work, repair work, because these windows, they have to be maintained, and I would think there'd be a lot of that going on, along with building, people, large stained glass companies building large stained glass jobs. So I would say the answer is yes, for sure.
Yeah, it depends on what. I don't know how large
That you're thinking about.
you're thinking about, but we're not familiar with huge jobs.
No, we don't go after them. So
We most of our jobs are 20 windows or less.
yeah, so that, like a large job for us is about 500 square feet. So that's a lot. That's a large job for us.
Is that what?
That's what Drunken Jack's.
Yeah, 500
473 square feet. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for myself.
Can you tell me more about the resurgence of stained glass? Your classes are full. How do you see it playing out?
Well, I think the resurgence of stained glass is that, I see the classes, our classes stay full all the time. There's always somebody wanting to learn how to do glass because their whole lives, our whole lives, we've been looking at it. So, I see as long as we're able to teach, our classes will stay full. So, and I'm not sure, where the dollar amount will end up settling in, but it's teaching classes is for me. I enjoy it. It's very enjoyable, and being able to share my knowledge with other people is exciting for me. So, but I think that I think with the resurgence of stained glass, over the years, we've taught over 200 people in stained glass and how to do it, and a lot of them are still alive.
That's more than that.
Is it more than that?
Yeah,
but a lot of them are still alive. So your resurgence is if we can get the manufacturers of the glass to get caught back up from the pandemic, we'll all be in much better shape. I can promise you that.
Yeah, we just have to be more flexible and
we have to be patient.
Positive.
Right. Patient and positive.
And flexible.
Yeah.
Because we don't have it good like we used to have it when you could just call.
And get what you needed.
Get what
it's
you
not
needed.
available
It's on the
anymore,
floor.
y'all.
You have to be patient.
Yeah, so you just have to be patient.
Plan ahead.
And explain it to your customers too. You don't just leave them in the dark because, again, things aren't as available as they were 3 or 4 years ago. So.
Okay, Carla has a question.
Hey, Carla. That was an awful kind comment you left last week too. Thank you.
Carla, thank you. If an artist cuts the same glass, same pattern, same size, except is constructed in copper foil method and the other in lead light, what would the sales price difference between the two? What would be the difference between the two?
Carla, you just have to figure out what you're charging for your work. Okay, whether it's copper foil or lead, I don't think that. Well, for some people it does matter. Okay, some people it does matter because the amount of time that copper foil takes, which is about twice as much time, I think, because you're doing 4 extra processes. So. Yeah, I'm not sure what to tell you I guess you're wanting us to tell you what to charge for your work or what the difference in the cost would be.
Yeah, what would be the difference?
That's not how we price our work.
The difference in the price would be, I think that copper foil and lead probably is going to cost you about the same. I don't know. The solder might cost more than the lead. I'm not really sure.
But your time is.
But the time is where you're going to have to figure your price. So if the lead takes less time,
right,
than the copper foil, you can charge less for the lead, as long as that's comparable with the solder. And I don't know how fast you work. You may work really fast in copper foil.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's going to be time. It's going to be right there in your time, what that difference is. So get that time sheet. And
the sheet that we have on our
pricing sheet.
The pricing sheet on our website will help you figure all of those questions out.
We would probably have to charge at least double if we did something in copper foil, at least double.
Yeah. Yeah, because the time it takes twice as long to do it, I think. And you can't always work on the light box with copper foil. Or not when you're first starting out anyway.
Carla said like a 20 by 30 inch panel. Yeah, I mean, for us, we'd have to charge at least double because it take us twice as long to do a copper foil window than it would a leaded window.
Right.
Your time maybe.
If it were me, and they gave me a choice between making it for copper foil or lead for them, they'd get lead. so that we could actually, get the job done in a timely manner. Yeah.
Have you ever considered recording? I hope that helps, Carla. Have you ever considered recording your courses and then selling each course online? Yes, we have considered.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
We've talked about it.
Yeah, we have considered it.
Yeah.
Okay, can you please suggest what gauge, what gauge chain to use on a small foiled bird, a 17 by 12 foiled panel and a 40 by 13 panel?
Yeah, I'm not sure what gauge that chains come in, but you probably sounds to me like you need a 20-pound chain. So whatever a 20-pound chain is, I think that's what I would get.
Thank you, Steve. Did I say thank you?
Yeah,
Thank
you did. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. So yeah, I think you don't want to underhang it. So I would, a 20-pound chain is, it's not like a dog chain or anything, but you definitely want to get and not quite as big as a lamp chain, a swag chain. Something a little bit smaller than that will probably do what you're looking for. But they make so many different size chains, and I don't hang. Pretty much I don't hang anything with chain, and somewhat. So I try to. Karen, you the best. You're the best girl. You are.
Hey,
that was a good video, girl. I like your new studio.
Karen just gifted some studio memberships, and you can find Karen on Facebook if y'all want to look her up. And,
thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. We appreciate you. Look at there. That is very sweet. So, Happy Glass, Joyce, Klaus, DW, Bobby Schneider. You got free membership from Karen Mills. Very sweet. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. And seriously, that video you did was pretty good. So.
Oh, she said because we have helped her in the last 4 years. Thank you, Karen. We love you back.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
That's right. And these guys right here, they love us, and we love you right back, Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, Ed, would you like to do a glass demo?
Yeah, we can do a little demo. I found this piece of glass today, and so we went over to the shop because it was today was Monday. Of course, we know it's Monday.
Yeah.
But we had to go to the shop and pay bills, so
yeah.
It's the 20th of the month. So anyway, we found this beautiful piece of glass, and if you want to switch it, look at this, guys. So it's kind of like got a little bit of clear in it, and I have a part number for you. So let me give you a part number. It's a W, which is in Wismac, 341. And a 341, anything in the 340s in Wismac is going to be in your blues, okay? So I want you to just see this. This is a beautiful glass. Now when I get it up like that, you can see where, look at that, it looks like I'm swimming under the water. This really shows you the texture of this piece of glass. So it's really, and you know me, I don't need anything this big to work with. So we're just gonna take my square, and you can see that my square is not gonna go all the way down to the end, and that's okay. But we're gonna grab a hold of this like this, and we're gonna come right on down. Okay. So we want to make that score. Now I'm just gonna take my grousing pliers. My running pliers, I'm sorry. And we're going to run this.
We can't see them. Go. Whoop.
We're going to run that down. Now you see it's a little crooked right there, but we all know why, because I used a 12-inch square instead of an 18-inch square. But anyway, so this glass, this is a Wismac, and this is why it's so important, y'all, to have a part number to talk to your supplier about, Because if you run out of this glass right here, and you don't have a part number, look how wore out my cutter is on the side, y'all. That used to be paint. But so I want you to see this. Two things are happening here. This is very, very textured. And let me see if I can get that up. See all those little crooks and crevices in there? Let's see what those sound like as we go over top of them. Actually, they sound pretty good. So we're going to get in here and we're going to get our knuckle. We're going to get our index finger knuckle here and this under here, and we're going to pull down and away, just like that, down and away. Because if we pull down and stuff it in, then we poke a hole right here in our finger. So I wanted to share this with you because just like every other Wismac glass, it is very easy to work with. And I just want to show you that. Wismac has, let me move this out of the way. You know, I try to be really careful. Like today, I was carrying this piece of glass in, and Mary decides she's going to jump up on me. And here I am, I got this piece of glass, and all I can think in my mind is that she's going to get hurt. But we're going to cut this a little bit, and we're going to kind of give it a little bit of a pattern, just so that we can kind of see how it's going to react as we go. Now you can hear that score, everybody. You can hear that score and know that this is blue because it's so soft. Okay? So right now we're going to go in here and we're going to take this. These are my silver schnitz. And we're going to keep running this around just like this. Here we go. And we're going to come over here and we're going to turn the head on the silver schnitz. And we're going to run it back into itself. Just like that. And we're going to run it back down. And keep running. And now, and it was kind of funny because this weekend, the students were cutting their glass, and one of the scores was made like this, and this piece wasn't falling out. So I just said, just turn your running pliers over, okay, and squeeze lightly. Okay? And then do the same from the back end. And normally that will come out like that. But I will say this, because I didn't have it broken right there, that's why it ran to its weakest point. So I didn't see a glare inside this area right here. There wasn't a glare right there. So without that glare, that score wasn't broken. And without that score being broken, y'all, it wasn't going to do what it needed to do. So we're going to try that again, and we're going to make sure this trip that our score is broken. Just like that. Stay behind your run. There we go. Okay. And the whole reason that these silver schnitz do that is this right here. You see how that spins around? All you have to do is spin that around and chase that score right there on that piece of glass, and you can do anything with those silver schnitz running pliers. So just remember that, guys, and remember too, blue glass is soft, Wismac glass is great to work with, and they also have a lot of different colors and textures. So if you need a beautiful glass, you can check with any of your brick and mortar stores, because they're going to be carrying Wismac glass.
Thank you, Ed. That was excellent.
Hey, that was good. and I'm going to find a piece of, I'm going to try to remember to get a piece of fractures and stringers to bring in next week and cut that and see.
Oh yeah,
if
we'll
we
do that
can
next
come
week.
up
It
with
was,
some sort
it
of
was
a
needing
remedy.
that help.
Yeah, so if you're needing help with that,
Fractures and streamers.
fractures
next
and streamers
week we'll be
next week,
cutting.
everybody.
Yeah, come on board and check it out. Ed'll be showing you how he handles that situation.
Because it don't always work right for me either.
Yeah.
It's all good though.
Those of you who haven't subscribed, please do so. That tells YouTube that you like our content, and that makes them put our videos out there and helps our channel. So, yeah, thank you so much. Give us a thumbs up when you can.
And hey, Barb, we're like this far away from 28,000
Yeah.
subscribers.
Yeah, so thank you guys.
And that doesn't
for all
happen without
that.
you guys, so we want to thank you. We want to thank you a lot.
And so, and also if you want to get our newsletter, go to conwayglass.com and sign up for our newsletter, and you can find out, if you don't know who we are and what we do, you can find out all about us there.
Yeah.
And so if you have any questions, just put them in the
you
chat.
probably find out some things you don't want to know about us on our website. No, I'm just
you
kidding.
think? Thank you, Michael.
Hey, thank you. We appreciate that very much.
Yes, we do. That is awesome. Thank you so
Y'all,
much.
when you donate like that,
It helps us.
it helps us a lot. And it helps us buy new equipment. I know we just revamped the whole studio and everything, and we got new equipment, but you know what? We always need something new. So
Yeah, we're still
when you guys make a donation like that, it helps us grow. And when we grow, we hope that you guys will grow with us.
Yeah, we're almost at 28,000. You know, our overall goal was to get to 100,000, and it's going to be tough, but we're going to get there because we don't give up. We never give
Barb,
up.
some of our viewers remember when
We had
we tried to get, we
100.
had to get 1,000 views.
Oh, my gosh,
I mean,
it took
1,000
forever.
subscribers. It was like, whoa, what happened there? And, but, you know, again, without you guys, it wouldn't have happened. So we appreciate it so much.
Okay, question. I am trying to figure out one of the 17 windows for that elementary school. They want a tribute, law, EMS, fire, and churches. Any suggestions? I'll tell you what I like to do. And you may have seen a little bit of it. If I am just wanting to brainstorm, go to one of the AIs, the Chat GPT or something like that, and ask the Chat GPT to imagine a stained glass window with a fire symbol in it, and just do that about 10 times. You're not going to be able to use those images.
Oh,
They're
Judy,
going to
thank
be.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Judy. We appreciate it.
You're not going to be able to use those images for a stained glass window because they're not really that good, but it will get your mind,
Yeah.
your creativity flowing. So I'd suggest to do that, Karen.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it.
Yeah, and if they're looking for that emblem, all 5 of those emblems in one window, you got your hands full.
Well, I think that, yeah, they want to honor those people. Thank you,
Thank you,
Lila.
Lila.
We
Appreciate it very
appreciate
much.
that. And Judy, thank you so much.
you.
We do appreciate
You guys got the light going tonight. It's
Yeah, you
dancing.
guys
It's all right. It's all good.
You guys are
Thank
doing
y'all
great.
so much.
Yeah, so let's see. Do we have any other questions? I hope that helps you, Karen, but I do think that I know a lot of people do not like AI, but I think that it helps if you're stuck and you're just trying to think outside the box, you know, and not copy
Right.
anyone, but just be inspired.
Well, just to be the inspirational part of it is where you need to be, because you know it's a lot of times, and Barb and I do this too, is we just get stoned.
Yeah, you get stuck when you work all the time.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes you get that cloud going on in your head, and it's like, man, But then you just need that little bit of extra idea that you didn't think of.
That's right.
Yeah, that you didn't think of, and you just need that little bit of help, and it'll help you with it. So
If you have a question,
we all
just
need
leave
help
it.
every now and then,
Yes,
Karen.
yes, we all need help. So, you guys got any questions? Just put your question in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer.
Sure, we will.
And
We'll
we
try
thank
anyway.
each and every one of you for the super chats and the
super
super
stickers.
stickers.
Thank
That
you,
is
guys.
so sweet. Karen, thank you so much for those gifted memberships. Our viewers are really, really going to get a lot of value out of that, and we do appreciate you.
We do appreciate it very much, and we appreciate
Thank
you, Karen.
Yes.
And the big guy.
And the big guy, yes.
He's been working really hard on your studio. We can see that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you could also ask in your Facebook groups, but yeah, just
Well,
fish for ideas.
Yeah, the best part about that whole thing that you're talking about, Karen, is that they all have insignias and patches, and that's a great way to start too. Is just the shape or the shield. Okay, so just run that by you.
Yeah. So your AI, your Chat GPT, any of your AIs, just ask them to imagine a stained glass window with so and so, and then just ask them to keep reimagining it.
Right.
And fine tune it as much as you can. You'll get a lot of inspiration. So have fun with it.
Right, and that's what it is. It's all about inspiration. You just do the V8 thing. Darn it, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Here it is.
Okay, so thank you guys for being here tonight, and if you haven't subscribed, please
do so, guys. Give us a thumbs up, and don't forget, everything matters.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys do with our channel, it matters to us. So thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
So we love you all, and we want to thank you for watching. And are we ready to go, or
And
do
don't
y'all have
forget,
some
next
more
week
questions?
is stringers and streamers.
Yeah, stringers and streamers. And you still have 2 weeks for the viewer showcase, so don't forget that. Denver said, please tell Karen to stop growing. Yes, thank you for joining the live stream. Thank you, Ray, for all your help. You're number one, mister. You're the best.
You're the best. Thank you so much. Tell Susie hi for us. We appreciate everything. And for the ARTyRV channel, everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you all. Good night.